Welcome, everybody. This is Abacus Fish, and we are playing, or rather, chatting about Hexcrawl Adventures today. A special send off before we go on our February mid break. I thought today we'd do another recap episode. It's been a while since we've done this. And so for this recap episode, I'm joined by 4 players. I have Sophie.
Hello.
I got Joe.
Hey there.
I got Sam.
Howdy.
And I got Seth.
Hi.
So, with today being a recap episode, there's not really going to be much in the way of going on new adventures or dice rolls or anything like that. This is just more of kind of a bookkeeping recap as we review old story arcs. Just think of it like the anime clip show that is oh so popular in such features as That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, or solo leveling. Anywho, I think the best way to start this is if I just give a reading of what has transpired since episode 1, kind of reevaluating, and then I will leave it to the rest of the players to kind of, if you want to interject something, totally feel free. But without further ado, I will just kind of start out. So, Treaty the 13th of Germinal, year 7932 year of Cosgrove, is when you guys landed. After a journey that started around the start of Germinal. So it was a little over a week. This journey from Atoll Grove, as the climate had become too cold to grow anything. You moved south, lost many people. And it was on that day that the first adventure occurred with Stickbeard, Goldie, and Melina Shieldheart. At one point, you encountered a blight tree. You fought off some of the skeletons, but then strategically retreated. The next day, the 14th of Germinal, year 7932, 7932 year of Cosgrove, you guys returned to that blight tree because that's where you met Lady Lita Vargas, ruler of the North Shore. That's the first. No, you did meet Otis Rivercobb at one point, but that meeting was a little less formal. This was a very formal meeting in which a writing party rode out to your camp. Took care of the blight tree, but yes, it was also quarterly the 14th of Germinal, in which Goldie died fighting the bandits of the Flaming Fist.
Rest in power, Goldie.
And I'd say that pretty much completes the first proper arc, is you guys getting settled in. After that, things start to change. You've established yourself more because Goldie allowed you all that money. And yeah, just kind of started the whole enterprise. From there on out, you started going on more adventures. Upon this, you encountered some goblins who you have fought off, but didn't necessarily defeat. You just scared them off. Also, found a new home. You went from where you originally landed, where that campfire logo is at the top, that was your original landing. That's where you camped. You ended up going a few miles west to this, to the, just below that. The one just below. There we go. Yep, that one. You ended up moving there, and that's what you've claimed as your home. At some point while you're doing this, eventually you gain the title, some notoriety as the Vagabonds of the North Shore. You fight more goblins. Oh, and you rescue an orc named Vothig.
Oh yeah. Whatever happened to Vothik?
He's still at the camp. You just haven't taken him. Like, you guys have been in the city, and having an orc in the middle of the city would be awkward.
Maybe a little. Not for us.
Instead of here thinking of all of the other quote-unquote awkward things we've done in the city. But keep going.
Yeah.
It's about... Okay, right. So, about 2 weeks after your initial landing, you had established yourself at the new site and had started to gain this reputation as kind of this group of gypsies, effectively, like just kind of squatting there in those ruins. And it is said that they defeated the Bandit of the Flaming Fist, and they have burned down the Blight Tree, and have also reduced the local lizardman population. And also rumors of great treasure, like that started to. Those rumors started to circulate. Eventually, it's only a few days after you guys set camp that Nurton starts to become a thing. You guys make your initial reach out towards Nurton and realize that the barrier between Nurton and Berry Pond, well, basically the rest of Vassith, one of the two roads here. I'll click on the map to show you guys. But there was a barrier. There was a barrier about here that was to prevent entry into Berry Pond that had been broken. And you eventually found out that this barrier had been broken too. But what the villagers had done was broken the irrigation to kind of make it swampy ground. And that was the start of the Nurton arc. Oh. And this whole time I have forgotten about that strange knight who doesn't talk. You encountered Goldie, that episode with the Blight Tree. Goldie encountered it. Yeah, and along with Brock Half Giants.
What was their name again?
That night? The night you have never learned the night. Their order is known as the Knights of the Moonglum.
Oh, okay.
And then y'all called her Mooney.
Mooney?
Just your face. Yeah.
We are a smart bunch.
She was chill with it.
Yeah, she didn't like complain or anything.
Quiet lady.
Um, you you also learned of the Kraken underneath. Actually, you knew about that when you moved in. Like it wasn't like you moved into this place without inspection. You inspected it, saw that it did have a Kraken in the basement, and moved in anyways. It's still there, by the way. Uh, you encountered a magic user who's kind of obsessed with it, and after taking her down there once, you kind of realized how dangerous it was, and she's kind of been quiet about it, though. Um, she is still hanging around, and in the last few weeks, oh gosh, what is her name? Orntish. Orntish has she's just kind of been biding her time, still hanging around the village, getting along with the locals, except for Pedor. Pedor Bearwallow and her are not friends by any stretch. So the Nurton campaign went out. It was a long battle. You guys fought along that road on the barrier. Like, that was only a mile. But gosh, you guys fought over every inch of that mile towards Nurton. Multiple battles at that barricade, multiple battles in that forest just south of the barricade. But you eventually broke in, encountered some what appeared to be cultists. You threw a potion of fireball and massacred most of them. But then they like revived themselves into some weird zombie golem abomination that you greatly killed, and then after destroying them, just kind of marched towards the town from the forest and killed a bunch of the remaining skeletons until they all ran away. A few episodes later, entourage of riders show up. It's a royal summons from the city of Vassith, and they are asking Stickbeard Smith for his presence. And when he gets there, there is a small knighting ceremony with a festival to be announced later. As you guys start acquainting yourselves with the city, you start I believe it was season 1, you met the criminal element. At first just looking for a job, but now as it turns out you might have involved yourself in a web with them. Which
Oops.
well, that's what they say about working with the working in the mob, right? You never get out of the game once you're in. And that pretty much brings us to season 2, which starts off with the festival. More stuff going on with the city plot lines. There's probably other plot lines that I am forgetting. I'm just overlooking my notes per session here. Don't want to get too much in the nitty gritty because A, that might take up what you guys might want to ask about and stuff, and 2, I feel like that would I can't go over every painstaking detail, but I think that's a good framework for now. So, would anyone else like to fill some things in or ask questions, or I leave the floor to someone else.
How exactly did Stickbeard become a noble?
Yeah. So Stickbeard showed up for the most sessions in season 1. Partly
Hooray.
because yeah,
Extra credit.
so Joe, you only showed up one more session than Seth, but Seth, your character died. So technically, Stickbeard. Yeah. So the I guess to answer the continuity question is because Stickbeard was there all the time. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah," and they had that dwarf that they were following. Like it was like a group of people, and they were following that dwarf with that weird, with that scraggly beard, and that's kind of how it's like. Oh, he must be their lord.
Oh, and what of the adventures gained the notoriety to propel him to lordship?
Nerton.
Nerd. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get the connective tissue. I want to know as much as possible about my Lord Stickbeard. You know.
So at the moment, like, how many different like plot threads do we have dangling around? Like, we have the mob, we have cultists, we have more trees, we have the Kraken still, sort of.
Yeah, that Kraken's still alive.
The Kraken's still alive. We
Also
have
a gator or
say
crocodile.
yeah, the fucking what was the we literally have the Louisiana Bayou crocodile that we have to go and kill.
Big Pete.
Big Pete. Fuck yeah, we did give him a goofy ass name too. Um,
No, that was the local's name for him.
yeah. Well, okay, Cliff. Cliff had a goofy ass name, and I say this with love. Like his name should be Big Pete because that's the kind of name you give a giant alligator. God, what else am I missing? Like we've got towns to rebuild.
There is the PC journal if you'd like to look at that. That's got some quest stuff in it.
Yeah. Do. Yeah. The fucking necromancers.
Are we still just speaking of season 1 or
Oh, I mentioned stuff in season 2, so yeah, no, yeah, open
Okay.
floor.
there's some like other dwarven guys with like bougier beards who are looking at us kind of funny lately.
What? Huh?
Hipster dwarves with their beard oil and beard combs.
Damn those hipster dwarves.
So during season 1, Titch Kirkner was reassembling the faith by the landing site, and then I guess moved over to the fortress. So that's kind of how everybody would have known him, because he's a zealot and he was yelling about Cosgrove constantly and trying to collect all the holy relics and yeah, anything of note. And interestingly, since it'll never come up, his name has a double meaning. Because Kirkner is derived from I think Kirchner, which means to like keeper of like the holy relics or holy site or something. I can't quite remember.
All right.
there's no other opportunity to bring that up, so this seemed like a good time.
Oh, it'll get worked into the game somehow. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, anything you guys can recall about season 1, because I wasn't here.
We also have uh, a an old man who lives in the woods in a tower, and he's pretty cool, but he's got some knowledge on stuff that we'd like to know about.
Yeah.
Always. But he's kind of sensitive, so
Is it the guy we visited last session?
yeah.
I think I cornered him and demanded information.
So you're telling me that he's sensitive. I see.
I think Tuckbit offended him with like a question about
So you've offended. Okay. uh, it sounds like you have unfortunately doomed this person, whoever they are.
He's an elf, right?
Taurus.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the
He's
elves
so old.
were mad about this other elf.
Getting into the affairs of elves.
You've actually met 3 elves.
There's the Traveler. Like
Luthus Elevera. Yeah, the swarthy elf, tall Chad guy with a big yellow beard and bushy yellow hair, and I do mean yellow, not blonde, and bright orange eyes. And then the other one is Madame Alara Starshine.
the Magical Baker.
Yeah, she is very tall, skinny, for an elf. So like even taller, like probably close to 7 feet, and yeah, very skinny, long silver hair with silver eyes, and just kind of this like very serene look to her. Like she's, I don't know, she might be, if it were like modern day, you might be thinking she might be really stoned. She just kind of has that vibe to her. But yeah, those are the other. Those are the 3 elves that you've encountered.
Well, if she's anything like the bakers that I've met, she's definitely stoned a lot.
Well, I mean, she's getting baked.
Bake to bake, dude.
We got some new horses recently too.
Oh yeah. got enough to seat everyone comfortably.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, for anyone who wasn't there at the time, sorry for spending half the money everyone accumulated.
Oh no, we actually we found quite a bit of treasure last time, didn't we?
Yeah, I've
That's-
officially passed halfway to second level.
Yeah, did we find some sort of like stone in a
Yeah,
mine?
we got a bunch of stuff from that spider cave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, in the, 19. I mean, technically, what you guys gained from last session is 1,900 gold. The reason I didn't add it to the total haul was because I didn't know how Guilford wanted to divvy that out. So I'll let let James know and discuss it. But yeah, that ended up being like a 1,900 gold coin payday for you guys.
Minus the 15% tithe to the church, obviously.
Yes.
No.
Right, guys?
No.
No, we don't.
You might tithe to the church, but the heroes of the West March feel no such obligation.
All right, well, don't come running to me when, Cosgrove doesn't protect you ambiguously from something.
Oh, I'm a dwarf. I rely on the land and rock to protect me.
Watch out, guys. Pitch is gonna stab us in the back with a Bible.
I have a rather large holy symbol I could hit someone with.
See? I told you.
um, gosh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and we have been slowly finding out more and more about the daggers
Yeah.
from the necromancer. We don't know how that all fits together, though.
Yeah, they grow into new death trees.
The daggers do?
Yeah, that's what I got from it. Whatever the black corpse trees are,
Oh, the blight trees?
the blight trees. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the daggers grow into new blight trees.
Oh.
They're like saplings. I remember that.
Which is clever and a big problem. So you don't clean up the battlefield, that they just raise everyone that died at the battle.
Yeah, it also gives us an incentive to smash them when we find them.
As long as you don't chant Sharon a Bog over and over again while you do it.
Oh, yeah. Um, oh, yeah, he already answered how many kind of threads we have going, right?
No, I didn't necessarily specifically know. I did point out the PC's journal, but like, yeah, all the threads that you guys are aware of, that's really it's really hard for me to say. But off the top of my head, hanging plot threads. Uh, there's the goblins. There's the antlered king. Uh, there's the necromancer's apprentice. The mafia's got problems with you. Um,
Oh, we're
not
just causing trouble everywhere we go.
yeah, not necromancer's apprentice. That's Darkest Dungeon. Necromancer's conspirator. Um, and oh, you got a cave full of spiders that's got shiny rocks. You got a tree full of delicious fruit guarded by a dragon. You got the calabash and it's all of its treasure at the bottom where the kraken is guarding, and the rivers. Oh, I should be pinning the map while I'm talking about this. Shucks. But these rivers right here would make a great way to connect the rest of the countryside with the East Green over here, Doveport. But the reason they don't use this river network is because of Big Pete. So
Fucking Pete.
Mm.
Well, the plot thread that I'm most invested in is reopening the passage to the town I always forget the name of.
Nerton.
Nerton. Yeah, you've said it 10 times since I got. Yeah, because there's no way to get food there, and they're revolting currently.
That yeah. No, that's still like the most interesting one to me.
I think it's. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say Maurice's Reach is revolting. Berry Punt is fine for now, but Maurice's Reach is approaching martial law. Oh, let me ping them. That way you know what I'm talking about here. So, Maurice's Reach is just up the road from Colress's cabin. And then this is Berry Punt, a much bigger city by the river.
Hey, could you ping the kingdom city or the main city?
The city of Vassith is right here.
Okay, so pretty far. Yeah, and in my mind, there's a big conspiracy going on. And part of that conspiracy is causing unrest in all the outlying, whatever you'd call them, territories, towns, lordships.
So you think
Fiefdoms.
this is all part of some kind of political sabotage?
Political or otherwise. More unrest means more dead people, means more, necromancy fuel, I guess. Well, yeah, and with the zombie appearing in town near the Brightmoors, and then I think the Merchants Guild is in league with the Necromancers currently, although there are a few different possibilities. Everyone seems to want to blame the church, like usual. But yeah, that's my read. So for me personally, I think it's sort of a priority to open those trade routes and get food to Nurton, and then maybe figure out what's going on in the other town. I'm really bad with names. Not Berry Pond.
Maurice's Reach.
Maurice's Reach, yeah. What do you guys think?
Nah, I also think reopening all those towns is like the most pressing matter. Might not be the most like mechanically interesting, but the most like if this was a real world situation, that is where I'd want to focus my attention. And part of me is like, we should just go kill the fucking Kraken. Yeah. Fucking epic fucking Kraken battle.
Hey, I'm down. I mean, I wouldn't mind gaining like a level or two first. But ultimately, I'll follow everybody else. Like, I try to remind myself that uh, other people don't necessarily find dry political intrigue as exciting as I do.
Eh. I'll admit that it's less about the dry political intrigue and more about the preventing all out fucking famine and riots.
Right, yeah.
Like I'm gonna be shit at actual. I kind of hate and love that Stickbeard Smith has turned into a lord, because fuck if I know what a lord should be doing. Or how should be acting or saying in any given situation. Or perhaps that's why like me as a player have become a lord, because oh lord, like I'm doing the least lordy things.
I love that you're the one that's the Lord. It makes so my character is, he's a zealot, and part of that is um, like whatever the hierarchy is, like he's just automatically adherent to that, like invested in that. So like he has no doubts about like your authority or competence or like or in his mind it's like, well, you're above me, and we're, like
Clear, clearly I should show deference.
yeah, it's just like a respect for like the chain of command, I guess. Like
That's fair.
yeah, it's like the whole thing about is like the it's like the king, when you're behind the shield or in front of the shield. And so like people that are higher up on the hierarchy are sort of like further towards the front of the shield, if that's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
So it's like, we're essentially like, you're one of the shields and we're all behind you, you know? Like we stand shoulder to shoulder behind the Lord, which is, the sort of like zone that we're all compatriots within,
Ah,
So, I mean, I'm glad it's you because I've been trying to like introduce you as like your seneschal. So like the more ill-fitting your character
yep.
seems for leadership, the more fun it is for me.
That works. That works. That works. I love it. It's great. It's
See, I think Stickbeard is very reasonable with a good head on his shoulders and is a voice of reason when we're just like doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not doing a bad job. You just seem like hesitant. That's all.
Oh,
Well, it's that whole thing of like, you don't, people who want to lead shouldn't be leaders kind of thing.
well, here I metagaming for. Well, no, we're doing recap, so it's not metagaming. It's just gaming at this point. Like I was trying to play stick. That whole thing about like seeing a problem and wanting to get it fixed, like that has been like probably the thing that I base most of my decisions on. It's always like, okay, if I was this guy in this situation, what's the biggest problem and how do we tackle it like the quickest? All right, that's what I want to do. And then I open it up to everybody else. And sometimes people have gone along with it and it's worked out. And sometimes somebody's like, "Oh, we should go kill the Kraken," or some other inane like suggestion. But like it's a good sounding suggestion, so we go along with that instead. But like that and that seems to have worked out. Somehow. Sometimes the dice have been really generous with how things have worked out. It's like this shouldn't have worked at all, but it did.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
How did we end up with a bunch of goblin grenades? We're not really sure, but we've got them. How are we not all in jail for blowing up part of like the slums? We don't know, but we're not.
It was self-defense.
It was hella self-defense.
This is a stand your ground kingdom.
Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, and in like a meta way, like, uh,
Hmm.
like, uh, you know, you have to be murder hobos to find cool loot and stuff, and it is fun. So it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, we should negotiate grain shipments, and then someone's like, let's go kill something, and then it's like, all right,
Well,
if everybody wants to do that, that doesn't
yeah.
sound like a bad idea.
It solves the problem. My household slash like de facto like gaming group. How do I put this? So I don't remember the context or what D&D game it was, but I've been attributed with the quote of it's like if I can't solve the problem with hammers, then it's not a problem worth solving.
I like that.
Deep.
That's why I like 40K, because it's all about finding those 40,000 hammers.
Yeah, and and finding a problem for every single one. Solving problems the only way I know
Right.
how.
With 40,000 warhammers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's sort of, I don't know, it's kind of like, like we need money to do stuff, and like our job is basically having ADD and running after groups of stuff to hit.
Yeah.
So it's like we
Well,
gotta go to work to pay
yeah.
for the fun stuff. Like,
So we're playing an MMO. That's what we're doing.
I mean, yeah, well, MMOs came from this basically.
Yeah. Well, just the whole idea of like, oh no, our job is to have ADD and then go out and find things to hit. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
MMOs were like, how can we make a tabletop role playing boring?
how I kind of like look at adventuring, right, is it's kind of like a lot like the paparazzi a little bit, is because these are the kind of people that are willing to do very extreme things to get, you know, a valuable whatever, whether it's a picture of a famous celebrity or you guys like trying to get gold money, you know, a golden artifact or whatever. You know, it's that kind of you are willing to go through things that normal people aren't willing to go. Just the fact that they're like there might be treasure in that cave, but we've heard that they're kobolds. The average person would be like, kobolds? No way. I don't want to get stabbed today. But you guys are like, a little stabbing doesn't bother me, and that's kind of the mentality.
We've survived worse. We can survive this. Yep.
Yeah, and I like sort of I think a lot of settings have shifted into sort of a postmodern take where it's like if you're an adventurer, you're insane.
A little bit, yeah. You're a little bit crazy.
Yeah, and I think that it's like, the traditional way of looking at it is sort of like in like the Lord of the Rings, like you're on this epic journey and then you have to overcome hardships. But I think that like on a mass scale or like a repeatable way, or like having a world where there's like a lot of people that seek that sort of profession out without that, you know, like grand there and back again sort of adventure. Um, they're just crazy people. They're it's like we're not bringing a ring to a mountain. We're just finding all the stuff that they had to deal with on the way to that mountain on purpose. Not to say that there isn't like a higher, you know, like there aren't sort of like good selfless like meta goals or whatever, but like we are ostensibly trying to do good.
Right, but the nature of your work is incredibly dangerous and can be extremely violent. So it's yeah, that's
Yeah, there's treasure involved, and all I have to do is go like battle these insanely dangerous monsters and maybe die. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As I said about my character in the other game I'm in, my business is killing and business is good.
you guys run away from every big monster you've faced so far. So how good is it really?
Yeah, but we've made notations to go back and kill them, you know?
Sometimes we have to return with a plan.
Yeah, who is the highest level person at this point?
I think it's technically Stickbeard, just because I've been in the most sessions. Stickbeard, as played by me, but Stickbeard himself has been in the most sessions.
And what level are you?
God, what level am I? 4? Maybe
You're
5?
level 3. You're level 3.
I
So
thought I had 4.
I know.
Could be wrong.
I think you're
All right,
level.
nah.
Check your character sheet, but I think you're level 3. The only reason why Therum is a higher level than you, and Brock Half Giant. Well, so that's the thing is, despite Brock Half Giant being in like I don't know 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 episodes, every time he shows up, you guys find a lot of treasure. So he's the highest level. Brock Half Giant's the highest level, but only because every time he's he goes out, he looks for a cave, and he gets the treasure out of there every time.
I guess we need to do more cave spelunking. And that spider cave is ripe for the picking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this actually reminds me of a relevant episode. So Brock Half Giant has the idea of trying to make amends with the goblins by sharing a crown with them. It doesn't work out, but in the Goblin King, who is trying to kill everybody by releasing a collapsible floor that sent the party what he thought to their deaths. They ended up surviving the trap, and then crawling through the caves, found another system into old ruins where they found a whole bunch more treasure. Uh, and yeah, I believe Therum was there for that, and so was Svardfisk and Guilford the Grand and Brock Half Giant. But yeah,
So,
that was a big payday.
so is experience based on treasure?
Yep.
Wow! 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 Oh my god! Wow!
Not exclusively, but primarily, I've gathered.
That's fair.
Yeah, and like Mike, I specifically try to not be, um, it feels metagamey to be like, I should really be focusing on treasure so I can get experience, but it's only a consideration because like, I'm wondering like at what point cumulatively would we be strong enough to take out, a dragon or a giant spider. So that's like my only consideration. But like, I'm not going to be pushing for treasure
Or
raiding
Kraken.
or yeah, or a kraken or just like a big dude.
The ultimate test of strength, fighting the big dude.
Well, yeah, like the biggest challenge is always like an NPC who's like a high level PC.
Fair. Congratulations, you've encountered Big Dude. The big brother of Big Pete.
Oh, he's so big. He's like 6'4", 6'5".
Fucking hey, man. Big Dude is big.
I guess what I'm curious about from season 1 is if any of the other characters know like how they were introduced to the various current quests that are listed. I guess I was there for the Necromancer's Cooperator quest line because I got called into the Masons Guild or whatever.
I
Actually,
actually. Go
uh,
ahead.
uh, uh, to answer Sam's question, why don't we actually just kind of go around here and talk about the season 1 story arcs that we do remember? We'll just go down the line, starting with Sophie.
Uh, I was just going to add that I think most of the quests we got from just kind of like chatting up random people and like rumors. I know Harella Dukelm was kind of like we we talked to her a whole lot in season 1, and uh, yeah, that was one thing.
If you would like, I could expand on Harella Dukelm a bit.
Yeah, I remember we got Brick Breaker from her, and yeah,
Yeah, Harella Dukelm owns the Dusty Pawnbrokers at the end of the lot in Berry Pond.
Okay, so this is someone I have not met.
And Stickbeard Smith, kind of expanding on what Sam was saying, or sorry, Joe. If you remember like some of the plot hooks from season 1.
Oh, jeez. Well, okay. So where does the problem is that I don't like. I remember there are some of the story events that I remember. I remember. God, I don't remember the name, but I remember losing a character fairly early on versus
Goldie
the.
Smith, you would
Goldie.
forget.
You forgot Goldie?
I thought
Forgot our
Goldie was the
Oh,
horse.
no, that's,
That's
Lucky.
Lucky.
God damn it!
You forgot our kin, Joe?
You got my memory is spotty at best. It's always been like this. I can't remember shit. Oh my god! But no, it was that fight with the fucking Fire Fist dudes. But I know that we had the Fire Fist weapon. Good lord! I reiterated that journey about getting the freaking fire grenades. We know about the Kraken. I don't remember exactly all the events leading up to the Kraken, but I know the Kraken and all of that fun jazz. What was the other fun things? There was the 2 bouts that we've had with blight trees. Those are fairly insane, fairly important. What else? I'm not sure. It might be cheating, but you did mention the Silent Night, so to speak. And they did seem pretty important early on in the first season, but they've gone by the wayside, unfortunately.
They left shortly after Nurton was liberated.
And then there was taming an orc with a pie, which was fun, with a meat pie of some sort.
Well, it would have to be, right?
Yeah. Literally giving it food.
Okay, and Seth, to kind of continuing on Sam's question about plot hooks from season 1 that stand out to you.
Well, of course, there was we already talked about the blight trees. I remember that, and finding a lot of well, it's being uncovered more now, but the different runes, or ruins, I should say, of the dwarven civilization that used to live there. And of course, the Kraken. And Goldie's death. That was pretty memorable. Yeah. Oh, and then going and finding the what we've been kind of referring to as like the Chaos Orb. I think it's this one that we went to. And I don't remember if. Oh, we went to this one over here. I don't remember if the old elf guy told us more about like what those are about, or if he even knows. He just warned us against going near them.
So, as Colrus explained it's pure mana. Stars in the setting of Corum are like just pure mana. Stars that aren't the sun. Yeah. But all the distant stars, they're just pure mana. And occasionally they fall from the sky. And and they splinter they break basically like a comet. However, instead of leaving meteorite, scattering meteorite, or I think that's the right term for it, um, uh, instead of scattering that, they scatter pure mana. And you've kind of witnessed the effects of pure mana.
Yeah. It's a little terrifying. Turning a tiny little snail into a giant snail that spits acid.
It could make a big dude into a bigger dude.
Yeah, but it's so unpredictable that it's not something you want to be around. But again, there's no way to control it that we know of.
There is a librarian in the Masons Guild, and she is that's actually one of her quest lines, is for you guys to go and investigate. Colrus did actually mention her.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Don't touch him, stupid. Don't go near him."
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of it. I mean, other than like more minor incidents, like I can't remember which two characters it were, but they got into a bar fight at a bar, and we had to go clean up after them next day.
Kill all the witnesses.
Ethan
Huh?
and Nathan.
Oh no, we went and rebuilt the bar and like to make up for it.
But yeah, no, Sophie's right. She's got their names right.
They're bear wallows, right?
Bear wallows.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm scratching. I can't remember much more. There's a lot that happened though. That's for sure.
That was like an episode right before you guys moved. It was like what? Yeah, well, one of the last episodes at the original site, your original landing.
Yeah.
But that was in the where the three hamlets are: Ackerton, Sutton, and Ormkirk, which are all of them. Ackerton's the biggest, but all of them are pretty much just like farmsteads with some cabins surrounded by a bunch of farm fields.
What lord are they under?
Otis Rivercub, Lord Protector. His region is known as the Quad, and the Quad consists of Berry Pont, Ackerton, Sutton, Ormkirk. And yes, if you're keeping score, he's the biggest lord.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. He's the Minister of War.
Damn.
And he has like four, like Berry Pond is easily the biggest of the villages outside of Vassith, which he has holdings, but then he has like three more small villages as his holdings. Compare that to the Vargas that only has Maurice's Reach, or Dugny that only has Nurton, or Skybraid that only has... Oh, why am I not painting? Here we go. Let's try that one more time. Lady Vargas of Maurice's Reach, Otis River Cobb of the Quad, Dugney of Nurton, Skybraid of East Green, or Doveport. And the regions are known as East Green, the Nook, the Quad, and the North Shore. Well, unless anybody else has some threads that they want to go through, I feel like we ran enough of the gambit here. But does actually, yeah. Why don't we do this? How about everybody will circle back to one thread and discuss it just a little bit further, and finish it up that way, going down the line, and we'll start with Sophie.
Uh, I would say maybe just like the way everyone in the castle is kind of playing games with each other, like the Grand Mason doesn't like the Archbishop, and her assistant is like wanting to mess with chaos magic, and they're like, oh, but like don't tell the king. And um the oh my gosh, the one with the coins words.
The Merchant Guild.
Yes, the Merchants Guild is like, we want the mafia dead. So lot going on there.
So much intrigue. I'm curious, like from your player character's perspective, like uh, yeah, like what's like your priority as a character, I guess, from what's going on.
Like Kailani specifically.
Yeah.
She is she's just kind of out here rolling with the group, uh looking for good vibes and answers to what's going on. She's not trying to make enemies. She's trying to make friends, but like that's hard because people are mean. But like she's
If I may ask, from an elvish perspective, like what are your thoughts? Like obviously you're a distant elf with your own kind of elvish history, but now that you've encountered these runes, found some elven crypts with these antler motifs, and knowing Chorus knows a Tyr who was alive around this time. Um, I guess what is your perspective as an elf? Given that like elves have like lived for hundreds and thousands of years.
yeah. So she is trying to she wants to get to know Colrus more so that he will share more information and be more open with stuff. But it seems like a sensitive subject with him, so like she's trying to be delicate with it, but also genuinely does want to be his friend because there's like not that many elves around. So kind of like there is some amount of like is he completely good? Is he a little did he know something bad? Like, did he let something bad happen? I don't know. And uh he seems like a good source to find out some of the Farron family history. Like, we've gotten some uh little nuggets of cryptic wisdom on that from Miss Starsong as well.
Yeah, he used to work. I think he said he used to work for the Antlered King before he became whatever he is now.
Yeah, he was like his hand, right?
Yeah, when Gideon Goldfinger, the halfling who's the cartographer and language specialist, when he deciphered the story of Atir and found a chart, and yeah, one of the names he translated was Colrus as the minister. Which oh yeah, by the way, Colrus, like now you guys probably have figured this out. He's several thousand years old. He's not just 1,000 years old. He is several thousand years old.
Oh boy.
Sounds exhausting.
That's why he never leaves his house. I imagine.
His sciatica has been acting up for 500 years.
Okay, and now, Joe, plot threads to circle back to that you'd like.
What is the next closest city that is likely to revolt?
Well, so saying you mean settlements?
Settlement, sorry.
Right. Maurice's Reach is probably going to revolt. You know, there's also the other thing. I guess, yeah. You the heroes of the West March probably might start thinking about this, but y'all never really defeated the Goblin King Scratch, and the caves, right? Being so close to Maurice's Reach at first wasn't necessarily a problem, but as you guys have discovered, deep, dark, in down in those caves, goblins are squatting in the ruins, and so, and you know, yeah, that was a point. When you first talked about goblins, a lot of the Kingdom of Vathis, the countryside, their response to it was, "What goblins? No goblins have been spotted, for years." So obviously, this is kind of like a new and rising problem. Your
Yep.
last clash with them, which actually you weren't part of, Stickbeard. That was with Therum. You tried to parlay, and ended up almost getting killed. And yeah, then ending up finding all this treasure. So yeah, if you're looking for powder kegs, Maurice's Reach is probably the worst off. And it's actually the closest settlement to you guys, so bonus.
Odd. Okay.
Sam, any threads you'd like to circle back to?
Yeah. I'm just, worried about all this unrest,
I'm sorry, did I take yours?
No, I didn't think that I was going to be one of the people recollecting. So I
Aw.
didn't think of anything. Um,
Yeah, pick something out of the blue if you don't need to, but yeah. Give it a thought.
yeah, well, what I was sort of thinking about was like one thing that we could focus on is like I think someone mentioned as an offhand comment that you know the lordship of Stickbeard doesn't have any walls, for instance. I remember like an NPC mentioning that, and um, I guess in like a self-interested way, uh, like securing those lands, like there could potentially be um, sort of a refugee crisis. um, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking about in the back of my mind was like dumping, you know, getting treasure and then dumping that treasure into sort of like securing and expanding the new settlement to try to attract settlers. And considering, I think no less than like 3 settlements are, and we can't be everywhere at once. Like having a safe place for anyone that might be leaving would be a good thing to do, but also personally beneficial because they pay taxes. Not speaking as my character, of course. I just want more, you know, I'm just excited for more parishioners.
Okay. Seth, any plots you'd like to circle back to?
Um, just I guess I mean there are plots that are very interesting, but there's one that I guess first like directly affected my character, and that's the like necromancer daggers haunting my like giving me crazy visions and very disturbing visions. Seems like my character is kind of uh, been caught up in this. Uh, it's like seems to be linked to the whatever magic this necromancer is using now, or something like um,
Yeah, you like
Chernobog.
see Chernobog in like the corner of your eye or whatever.
Yeah, it's very strange, but it's kind of hard to like follow that plot line without like I imagine if we tried to battle Chernobog, we would be absolutely annihilated. So it's not really a plot line that we're following intently, but I'm sure over the course of time it'll play out and we'll find out more.
Yeah, Titch is really interested in that because like one of the big things of the Church of Cosgrove is like keeping Chernobog locked up. And so like if you're, you know, it's at the very least evidence of him like encroaching on this world. So like
Right.
yeah, so that's kind of that's a one of the biggest priorities I think for me, for my
Yeah.
character is like you
Also
got to
very
stop these visions because that means he's close.
yeah. And I'm sure that Therum finds them very disturbing. Like, Therum's young and strong as a dwarf, but he's not necessarily the brightest. So, here's this guy and he's just having these visions and they're very disturbing. He doesn't really know what to do about it. he knows it's related to these daggers, so I guess he just wants to break more of them, because what else is he supposed to do? Yeah, I guess that's a plot line that's worth remembering, but it's like I say, just hard to resolve, because the big baddie at the end is way above our experience level. Yeah.
Also, this is something that actually all of you would be familiar with, because this is kind of setting stuff. Chernobog isn't the kind of demon who does his own killing. Actually, Chernobog, in very many ways, was inspired by Tom Waits in The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. So, if you're familiar with that film, that kind of devil, he's not a guy who's actually, well, he is malicious, but for him, it's about playing a game, not really about like winning or losing. He likes putting mortals, or putting anyone, even gods, like that's what the Age of Calamity was, in situations where they end up hurting themselves by manipulating their desires.
Yeah. And in situations where they have to choose, like hurt themselves or hurt others, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. More manipulative than direct conflict. Although one of the more recent plot threads that we're finally really starting to see is, I'm interested in the dwarves up in the hills. Obviously because Theron's a dwarf, but also because it would be really interesting to explore new, dwarven cities and dwarven characters, and
Yeah, the trick is getting there first.
Trick is getting there first, for sure.
I hear their mountain pass isn't walkable anymore.
No. Although, being dwarves, I'm sure they'll turn it into they'll clear it up at some point. Masters of the mountain.
Well, thank you all for coming over for this recap. This is very informative. Help me remember some stuff that I actually had forgotten. You all brought up some details that I had forgotten, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
No
thank
problem.
you.
Yeah.
And thank you, chat, for watching. If you wanted to keep up on all serious industry streams, the best way to do that is to give this channel a follow. Alternatively, you can find us on our Discord, YouTube, and Ko-Fi, which the links are on the on the Twitch page. You can click them. There's also the website, shatteredempire.net. Shattered Empire is a post-apocalyptic interstellar synthwave-fueled space sci-fi tabletop RPG set in the distant future where humanity struggles with the sudden loss of a once great empire known as the Interstellar Nexus. After an event known as the Cataclysm, the central capital systems were consumed by cosmic dust. Knowledge and technology is hoarded, while scavengers and pirates become the highest-grossing industry. New factions rise from the crumbling infrastructure and only cause more destruction as everyone vies for survival in the Shattered Empire. And with that, thank you everybody for watching. This is Abacus Fish, signing off.